we're gonna rotate the gun around the mouse cursor. As you can see, I really miss this tutorial. I directly jump it to the next one. Okay, so that's why we're gonna deal with this one first. Okay, select the gun sprite, okay, and hit this sprite editor. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the pivot point of the gun sprite. We're gonna set it over left center, okay, and from that point we're gonna rotate the gun. Okay, so we're gonna set pivot point to left center, and after doing that, hit apply. So we're gonna rotate the gun around that point. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna select the game view once again and select the gun sprite, okay, and drag it onto the player game object. Basically make the gun sprite child of player game object. Okay, and what we're gonna do, if we go to gun game object, and if we go to transform, then rotation, and if we play around with z axis, as you can see, we will able to rotate the gun, as you can see. So we're gonna set it to 0. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna rotate the gun around the mouse cursor. So firstly, what we have to do, we have to get this angle. Before that angle, we have to get the direction. Okay, by that direction we will get able to the angle. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna subtract mouse position. Okay, our mouse position from our gun position, whatever the gun position, we're gonna subtract that. Then we will get able to the direction. Okay, and by this direction we're gonna get able to the angle, and we're gonna set that angle to our z axis. As you seen, if we play around with z axis, the gun is rotating. Okay, so that's why. So go over to assets. Okay, right click, create. Okay, create C# scheme, name that to something like gun rotation. Okay, and select the gun game object and drag that gun rotation script to add component section of player game object, gun game object, and double click that to open up in Visual Studio. Firstly, we need to get the direction. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna delete this start function, we don't need that, and we're gonna use this update function. As you know, update function calls every single frame, so that's why we're going to use that. So firstly, we need to get the direction. You just have to subtract your mouse position from your gun position, then you will get able to the direction, and by that direction we will get able to the angle. Okay, and we're gonna set that angle to our z axis. So before that, we need to get the direction. So we're gonna pass transform. Okay, transform dot position. Basically, transform dot position means the current position of the gun game object. Okay, and we're gonna subtract minus our mouse position. So we have to type this input dot mouse position. Okay, sorry, input dot mouse position. Okay, so basically, this what does this mean? Input dot mouse position basically means the current position of the mouse cursor. Okay, current position of the mouse cursor, wherever the mouse cursor is, so that is the position. So we are subtracting from our transform dot position, basically means the current position of the gun game object, and we are subtracting our mouse position. But this over here, mouse position give will screen coordinate. Okay, this will give us in screen coordinates. What we need to do, we need to convert this screen coordinate to world coordinate, as you can see this in view. Okay, so what we need to cast this into this function. Okay, so we have to use camera dot main dot screen to wall point. Okay, screen to wall point, and put this into brackets. Okay, put this input dot mouse position into brackets. Now it will give us in world coordinate of the mouse position, wherever the mouse cursor is. So now we have the direction. So transform dot position basically means also the vector. Basically, it's position of the gun position. This is also means the vector. And input dot mouse position also a vector. Basically, it has the three data, x, y, z, or two-dimensional data, as you know. So the result will be also an vector. Okay, we're gonna put this direction, we will get able to the direction, and we're gonna put this direction into another vector variable. Okay, we're gonna put this into vector 2, and as you know, vector 2 has x-axis and the y-axis, and we're gonna call it something like direction. Okay, and we're gonna set equal to this. Now we have that direction. Whatever the result is, we're subtracting our mouse position from gun position. As you can see, now we are getting the direction, and we are storing this direction into this direction variable. Okay, now we have the direction. Basically, vector 2, it has x-axis and the y-axis. So if we go to a Unity editor once again, now we have the direction. So what we're gonna do, we need to get the angle. To get the angle, we have to use this function. Okay, we're gonna go over to script once again, and we're gonna go to down, and we're gonna use this. Okay, mathf. Okay, mathf dot 8 and 2. Okay, this function will take. Okay, okay. This function will take the height, okay. It will take the height and the base or adjacent, okay. So it will take the height and adjacent, and you will get able to the angle, okay. So what we gonna do, we have the direction as you seen. So direction dot y, as you can see, this will be the height one, and direction dot x will be the base one, which is the adjacent. So what we have to pass, we have to pass this first argument, the height. So we're gonna pass direction dot y, as you know, the height one, and direction dot y, okay. Direction dot direction dot x is the base one or adjacent, and close that off with semicolon. But it will give us in radian, okay. The angle we will get in radian, we need to convert that angle into degrees, okay. So what we need, we just have to multiply this, okay. The angle, we're gonna multiply this with our math f, okay. Math f dot rate to degrees, so it will convert that radian angle to degrees. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this in angle into another variable that will be float, okay. And that will be float, as you know, this the result will be float. We just dividing, and we're gonna set something like angle, okay. We're gonna call it angle, and we're gonna set equal to this. So we are getting the angle, and we are storing that angle into this angle variable, as you can see. Now we have the angle. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set the rotation of the gun, okay. Firstly we have to go to gun game object, then transform, then we're gonna go over to rotation, and we're gonna set the z rotation to our angle, okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to down, we're gonna set transform, okay. Transform dot rotation, basically transform dot rotation means the current rotation of the play gun game object, okay. And we're gonna set equal to, if you want to play around, like you want to change the rotation, you have to use this function, okay. Quaternion, okay. Quaternion, and we're gonna use, sorry, quaternion, okay. Quaternion dot angle axis, we have to use this, okay, to rotate the gun around the pivot point, okay, left center. So we have to pass the angle first, okay. It will take the angle, and as a second argument it will take the axis, okay, which axis you want to rotate the game object, okay. As you seen, if we play around with z axis, we will able to see the gun game object will rotate. So we have to pass the first angle one, okay. It will take the angle, and so we're gonna pass this angle, okay, angle, and we're gonna pass the second argument, it will take the axis. So as you seen, if we play around with the z axis, we can rotate the gun game object, okay. So we have to pass this vector 3 dot forward, basically means it's the z axis, okay. And close that off with semicolon, okay. Control s on your keyboard to save this. So we're setting the transform dot rotation, basically means the current rotation of the gun game object, and we're setting equal to quaternion dot angle axis, okay. So quaternion dot angle axis will take the angle first, and will take the second argument in which axis you want to rotate. So we are passing the angle, as you can see, and we pass as a second argument the z axis, basically vector 3 dot forward, basically means the z axis, okay. So control s on your keyboard to save this and head again to unity. So you will able to see wherever the mouse cursor pointing, the gun will point in that direction as well, because we are setting the gun game object rotation to quaternion dot angle axis, and we passed as a first argument the angle, as a second thing it will take the axis in which axis we want to rotate the gun. As you've seen, if we play around with z axis, the gun is rotating. So if I now hit play, okay, if I now hit play, and if I move the cursor around the screen, okay, so the gun will rotate in that direction as well, because we are setting that rotation, okay. As you can see, wherever the gun is pointing, okay, wherever the gun is pointing, wherever the mouse cursor is pointing, in that direction gun is rotating as well.